Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and this week on the Dragonflight Alpha, we got yet another build, which includes the brand new zone of the Waking Shores, the new dungeon of the Ruby Live Pools, and even more updates to the Dragon Riding. This week we also received revamps for the class of Paladin, which includes new spells, abilities, and revamped talent trees. Part of this update includes class-specific talent trees shared by all three playstyles, as well as talent trees for protection and retribution. However, Holy Paladins are still a work in progress and are yet to receive the relevant changes, though they do get new tools and utilities found in the class talent tree, and we'll mention how they're looking to improve very briefly. So in this video, let's take a closer look at the early changes and improvements coming to Paladins and Dragonflight. Just keep in mind that this is the very first Paladin-centric alpha build, and there's a good chance that this class will continue evolving over the next few weeks and months. Blizzard has been listening to a lot of the class feedback, which has resulted in adjustments and improvements, so be sure to leave your feedback on the class development so far. But right before that, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you are reminded, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as to the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get regular updates about the next World of Warcraft expansion of Dragonflight. First, let's take a look at the basic class kit. And for Paladins, your starting spells are pretty standard. You still get access to your big main immunity button, a baseline stun, and access to Consecration, Crusader Strike, and Judgment. You also get a default set of healing abilities and a resurrection spell. Next we have the Paladin class talents. The class talents are shared between all three playstyles, which means new gameplay opportunities and more hybrid potential. The Paladin auras of Retribution, Crusader, Devotion, and Concentration are now broken up into two separate talents, with certain specs getting access to some of these auras baseline. We see the Avenging Wrath available for all three specs in the talent tree. This ability will still enhance your damage, healing, and allows the use of Hammer of Wrath. However, the base Avenging Wrath is a 3-minute cooldown, reduced down to 2 minutes with the talent further in the talent tree. Rebuke Interrupt has finally become available for all three Paladins, which is nothing new if you play Prot or Ret, but for Holy, this is a massive improvement. This means that healer Paladins have a bigger role to play in group content, whether it is interrupting boss casts to save your tank in a Mythic Plus dungeon or interrupting crowd control like the Mage's Polymorph in rated arenas. Seal of the Templar enhances Crusader aura to increase the range of Paladin's basic abilities. This gives Paladins a little bit more reach, which is useful in high mobility encounters. Judgment can be upgraded to always generate holy power, which is a resource upgrade for Holy Paladins. Blessing of Sacrifice can now be further augmented to either reduce its cooldown for more general uses, or to give it more combat interactions, empowering your next Judgment or Word of Glory based on the damage it prevents. The Blessing of Spell Warding is now available for all three specs of the Paladin, and this spell is the inverse of Blessing of Protection, focused on preventing magic damage specifically, but this ability is incredibly useful in many raid fights where the tank or the party members take massive amounts of magic damage. In some cases, Blessing of Spell Warding can bypass certain raid mechanics and even shut down PvP bursts from classes like Warlocks, Shamans, and Mages. The talent of Seal of Might adds a bonus Mastery whenever you're using Avenging Wrath. The talent of Aspirations of Divinity causes Crusader Strike to grant you primary stats, which could make Crusader Strike ability more important rotationally, and gives Paladins a buff management playstyle option. You also get access to the Dusk and Dawn Shadowlands legendary effect, as well as Seal of Order to further empower the two Dusk and Dawn effects. Seal of Clarity can empower your Ward of Glory and Shield of the Righteous defensive abilities. And Seal of Reprisal amplifies the damage of your Holy Power spenders. You also get the choice of Touch of Light, which adds bonus holy damage and healing, or Incandescence, which can cause your Consecration to flare up whenever you spend holy power. The talent of Hallowed Ground buffs all Consecration-focused gameplay, which all three playstyles can utilize. And finally, the Mad Paragon amplifies both the Hammer, Wrath, and Judgment damage, and causes both of these abilities to prolong the uptime of wings. Next we have the Retribution Paladin, and the Retribution talent tree will include a lot of familiar options found in the Shadowlands, but the talents also bring back some of the fan favorite abilities and offer new gameplay opportunities. First things first, Long Arm of the Law makes a return. This is the fan favorite talent from older expansions that passively improves the Paladin's movement. This version, however, isn't as powerful as the original, but it does still allow more movement for Retribution Paladins. Paired together with Divine Steed, it does give Paladins more mobility options. Also, Exorcism makes a return. This ability will blast a target with holy damage and leave them burning for 12 seconds. If the target is standing in consecration, then the burn effect will spread to multiple targets. The Retribution talent tree has also gained a lot of new talents that empower consecration-focused gameplay. Starting with Consecrated Blade that causes Blade of Justice resets to engulf your enemies with a consecration effect. This is a bonus consecration effect that can be overlapped with your own. Calm Before the Storm causes targets cleaved by Divine Storm to take more damage from consecration. Consecrated Ground expands the area of effect and slows down your targets. Sanctification causes consecration to sometimes generate holy power, which will improve your AoE output. And together with the other holy damage amplifiers, it opens up a potential for an AoE focused Paladin build that's more centered around the sustained damage of consecration. This build is not the most mobility friendly build, but if tuned properly, it could allow Retribution Paladins a much greater AoE presence when it comes to Mythic Plus AoE content. The ability of Judgment can also be greatly upgraded. The talent of Last Rites causes every third Judgment to be more likely to crit and deal bonus holy damage. Every third Judgment can also cause the enemy to take even more holy damage for a short amount of time. And Boundless Judgment allows the spell to sometimes cleave to a secondary target. The ability of Wake of Ashes also makes a familiar return, which can be buffed to leave a burning effect on all targets it cleaves. It could also be enhanced with Ashes to Dust, which is the Paladin's tier set bonus in the Shadowlands, or be entirely replaced with the Path of Ruin ability. Path of Ruin turns Wake of Ashes into a holy power spender rather than a builder. You still keep a very similar damage profile and greatly reduce its cooldown to 15 seconds, which allows for more cleaving capabilities for Retribution Paladins that may improve their AoE performance. Ashes to Ashes will proc Seraphim whenever you benefit from Art of War, which leads into Final Reckoning, enhancing your holy damage output for a short amount of time. The Shadowlands ability of Divine Toll makes a return, which synergizes really well with all the talents that enhance Judgment gameplay. Divine Toll can also be upgraded with the Shadowlands legendary effect, which enhances Divine Toll even further. Avenging Wrath can be further upgraded with either the Blessing of Might, which adds a crit chance, or Crusade, which gives it a rampy haste stacking bonus. And with Leandrin's Fury, your wings generate holy power every 5 seconds, which could result in a more reliable burst capability due to all of the resources. Finally, you can empower Hammer of Wrath to increase your holy damage output. And grab Final Verdict, which synergizes well with the Hammer of Wrath playstyle. Next we have updates for the Protection Paladin, and currently in Dragonflight, Protection is going through some big changes, primarily when it comes to the rotational abilities and base kit modification. First things first, Avenger's Shield no longer generates any resources. Second, this change to resource generation is primarily to shorten the uptime of Shield of the Righteous. The idea for Dragonflight is to make Protection Paladins passively sturdier, where you don't need to have perfect uptime of Shield of the Righteous in order to survive basic encounters. At the same time, they want your shield slams to feel more empowering, so they are buffing its overall mitigation value. And in the current build, playing Protection Paladin on the alpha feels like a mix between a Protection Warrior and a Blood Death Knight. Like a warrior, whenever I'm taking high amounts of physical damage, I'm able to raise my shield and block some of it, increasing my overall defenses. The shield doesn't last forever, however, so I have to use it during high physical damage taken. But at the same time, I'm able to take pretty big hits from bosses and caster enemies and recover my health almost entirely alone with Word of Glory, which can be massively amplified the more health I'm currently missing. This is a new direction for Protection Paladins this early in the Dragonflight Alpha, and this class will likely go through a lot of updates over the next few weeks and months. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments, what do you prefer more? Would you like a more passively sturdier Protection Paladin with a limited uptime of Shield of the Righteous, or do you prefer the current Shadowlands version with the active busy rotation? And just like Retribution, Protection Paladins also have a lot of interaction with Consecration, which can now last longer and be a little stronger. Sanctuary makes standing in Consecration provide passive defense, and the talent of Strength of Conviction provides even more damage and healing opportunities. The ability of Avenger's Shield can also be upgraded in a variety of different ways, with the Bulwark of Order adding a bonus defensive shield based on the damage done, while Tyr's Enforcer further amplifies your cleave capabilities. Focused Enmity makes Avenger's Shield very deadly against a singular target, while Soaring Shield allows for greater AoE capabilities. Crusader's Resolve turns the Flying Shield into a strong defensive ability that affects all targets it hits. This allows shield throws to become more defensive in large AoE situations. Finally, you can either talent into Moment of Glory, which further buffs the shield's damage, defense, and gives it a shorter cooldown, or talent into the familiar Bulwark Shadowlands Legendary, creating an interaction between Avenger's Shield and Shield of the Righteous. Gift of the Golden Valkyr helps reduce the cooldown of Guardian of the Ancient Kings. And the Paladin artifact weapon ability, the Eye of Tyr, makes a return. Raise your shield up high and reduce the damage you take from nearby enemy targets by 25% for a short amount of time. And that's going to be everything we have when it comes to brand new Paladin updates in the Dragonflight Alpha. And hopefully over the next few weeks we'll get an update to the Holy Paladins as well, which I'll likely cover in a separate video. But until then, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the Paladin class talent trees and the individual changes upcoming to Retribution and Protection? What are your thoughts on the change of direction for the tanking spec? And what are your thoughts about a potential Consecration Retribution Paladin AoE build? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As per always, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video update or discuss these recent class changes with the rest of the channel community. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.